Welcome to SDH's coverage of everything going on in the NPSL Southeast. Business end of the schedule. Only a couple of weeks left in the regular season. We're going to break it all down for you, take you back over the last 7 days, get you ready for the next 7 days, catch up with a couple of coaches who are on the road and trying to sort out the sprint to the top of the table. We've also got some news in the schedule about where you can hear about what else is going on in the league. If there's not a coach that's here in this show, we'll tell you where to find him. And you can listen and catch up with everything going on, getting ready for the weekend that will be. So, no dilly, no dally zone here when we're talking about the NPSL. So let's go back over the last 7 days and lay it all out for you and get you ready for this weekend and a little bit of action maybe in the midweek. So let's go over starting on Saturday for the week of 6-17 that kind of carried over a little bit. Busy Saturday. Charlottetown hops over Port City by the final of 2-1 at Ortho, Carolina. Big matchup at the top of the table. App FC went on the road, and it's the beginning of a killer road trip for them. Last Saturday, go to Moretz, beat Hickory by the final of 1-0. Also on the board, Apotheos goes to Greenville United, gets the win there by the final of 2-1. Big win for John Mercado. And then at Gene Malcolm, 865 goes to Bristol, beats Bristol Rhythm by the final of 3-0, and that set up the action in the midweek. We mentioned how App FC is having a hell of a week on the road. They went from playing at Moretz against Hickory to on Wednesday playing in Wilmington against Port City. That's our match of the week. Here's your highlights, courtesy of our friends of the NPSL Southeast and TSC TV.
It'll be the right footer. Takes it. It's in the corner, and Port City have scored.
City! Goal!
And that's Aiden Payne with the beautiful free kick for Port City. Has the crowd on their feet.
Free kick goal was scored by number 13, Aiden Payne.
Chance for Appalachian. Ball in. Dangerous, and there it is. Looking for the offside, it's not there, and Appalachian have found the equalizer here in stoppage time of the first half.
Equalizer goal for Appalachian in stoppage time.
And we find ourselves now at 1-1 going into halftime. Very disappointing there for Port City, who got that first goal in the 45th minute. Just needed to see it out to halftime. There was a bit of stoppage time here, but a good cross in. Gave the goalkeeper really no chance. Ultimately, it's a tap-in goal for Appalachian. There's that diagonal once again, and he's in, and it's buried into the far post, and it was just a matter of time, it seemed, before one of those came across for Appalachian. There's the replay. Not a whole lot the keeper could do there. Again, Port City just having a hard time with these diagonal balls, splitting the defenders, and eventually it fell through. Possession here. Question if they want to force it in or kind of burn some more clock. There's the ball in. Clever turn, but it's cleared by Port City.
Williams.
And now a chance for Williams. Finds a good little dinked ball, but the keeper is again well off his line. There was a push there, but it seemed a little bit desperate from the Port City attacker as he was beaten to the ball by the goalkeeper. Low cross. Makes it all the way across the field. Ball in now. Chance to turn, and buried again by number 9, who gets his second goal of the night. Another great finish.
Appalachian goal in the 89th
as Port City surely now have buried the game at 3-1. It was another simple ball in which he was able to turn and take a couple of touches and get a shot off. So just not good enough defensively from Port City, and Appalachian are able to capitalize and take a 3-1 lead, which should put this game to bed.
App got the win 3-1 over Port City. They got in a bus the next morning. More on that in a bit. 865 Alliance at Clinton High School in Dragon Stadium shut out Bristol Rhythm by the final of 1-0. And that sets us up for this week. And it's a handful of matches, and they are all on Saturday. Let's get you into the standings to let you know where things are. And remember the whole notion of points per match average. That is part and parcel to all of this dynamic that you're going to be looking at here in the Southeast Conference. So it is literally, you can cut things almost in half when it comes to the league in and of itself. App is on top, no losses in 8. They are on top right now with a record of 6-2, and they are averaging 2.5 points a match at 20 points in their matches so far. Apotheos is second at 2.13 points per match so far this year, and they do that having played 8 matches and a record of 5-2-1. Third is Charlottetown with a record of 5-1-2, one of the stingiest defenses in the league, tied with App FC for the amount of goals allowed, fewest with 6. Charlottetown, they're averaging 2 points a match, 16 points on the season with a record of 5-1-2. Same with Hickory. Hickory has scored less goals. They are behind in goal difference, and they have had a bit of rough form right in their last 5, where they've only won 2. They have 2 losses and a draw as a part of all of this. 865 is in 5th right now, 1.63 points per match. There will be a test later on. 13 points, 8 matches with a record of 4-1-3. Those are the 5 chasing after the playoff spots. Greenville United through 8 matches is winless on the season. They do have 3 draws, and they are pulling in 0.38 points per match. Same with Bristol Rhythm, but Bristol has a worse goal difference, -10 to -18. That is why Bristol, with their 1 win and their 7 losses, is in 7th. Port City is still chasing after their first win of the season after 8 matches. They have 2 draws and have a 1/4 point per match average, 0.25. So that's where we are at 1 through 8. Let's catch up with the coaches and find out what is going on in their minds as they get ready for activity this week, and we'll also catch up with folks in the front office, as we always do. First and foremost, we're going to catch up with life at Hickory SC and catch up with head coach Carlos Rubio as they are trying to continue their race to the top of the table. They were there early on. They've had some struggles late. What's going on in his mind as they get ready for the week? We knew going in that the matchup with App was going to be against 2 of the top heavyweights here in the conference. So now that you've had a couple days to think about it, what sticks in your head?
Yeah, it was a fantastic game of football. Great environment. Our fans were superb once again. The atmosphere was, everything you can dream of, everything you can ask for NPSL. I think both teams represented the NPSL really, really well this weekend and highlighted how competitive it is. It's a match that could have gone either way. We had our chances, they had theirs. We hit the crossbar 3 times within 5 seconds, which I've never seen in the game of football before. But it's just a game that was defined, as we knew, by the margins. They took a chance that they had, put it away. They went 1 man down and defending really well, and we couldn't find a way to the net. So, again, a really good game of football. Could have gone either way. So now just turning the page into Saturday and hoping to see them back on playoffs.
And what that does is means that you've got to focus on Bristol, and Bristol, obviously, like a first-year club, they do well at home. They're learning about life on the road, but they do better at home, and they have this season. What's study hall been like getting ready for Bristol this time around?
Yeah, we watched them yesterday play against Alliance. It was nice to see the 2 teams that we're going to play each other in back-to-back games, Saturday and yesterday. So that was really good. Again, they're going to be very competitive, very aggressive team. They fight very hard. They like to make things very uncomfortable. So what we tell our boys is that we need to win that battle first and then dictate the tempo in which the game is played. But we need to make sure that we win the battle first before we even worry about anything else. So it's going to be a challenging game, not an easy one, but if we want to have a chance to host a playoff game, we must get the next 6 points.
And you're doing that in a conference that is just absolutely crazy with you and Hops and App and Apotheos. I mean, literally, you could take a blanket and just throw it over the 4 of you with how competitive you guys are as a group.
Yeah, but we wouldn't want it any other way. Sometimes you don't get to face these teams at all if you're in another conference. Sometimes you get to face each other once on the regional, and we get to face each other plenty of times during the summer, which makes it much more enjoyable. a much better experience for everyone involved. And it's just uphold what it means to be in our conference. It won't be easy. It's challenging, but we wouldn't want it any other way.
Next up, time to tour the front office of Bristol Rhythm. And as always, great to catch up with owner and GM Diane Smith and find out what's going on as Bristol is learning about life as a first-year franchise here in the NPSL Southeast. So you had the 2 matches in a week chaos that teams are forced to have because of the schedule. It was a home and home with 865. What'd you think?
So it was exciting to get to be back home because we had been on the road for quite a stretch. But the Saturday, with this upcoming Saturday, it is a lot. The players are definitely going to be worn down, especially playing in these temperatures. We've been playing in over 90-degree weather. It's not raining, at least, which is more than we can say for last month, but it's hot and it's a lot of football in a very short amount of time. So keeping the players hydrated and rested in between trainings and such. And they're young. They can totally handle it. It's wearing me out, but they can handle it.
Well, to your point about the tests for the players and the front office and things like that, you've got to figure out from a front office perspective about multitasking and making sure that things are done while you're gone and make sure that everything is good when you come back. I mean, it's one of those new challenges that you get to face as a first-year club and learn from.
Yeah, I mean, even the little things like I've got to get all the laundry washed tonight because they're wearing it again on Saturday. And it takes a long time to do those things, just getting all their warm-ups ready and making sure the kits are ready for the next time we travel. And
have you had any, and I don't wish this on anybody because I know that my laundry always has laundry accidents, but have you given like the wrong warm-up suit or the wrong warm-up jersey to the wrong player, or do you actually have, is there a system? It's like, no, this goes to this place, so there are no laundry mistakes and handing out uniform mistakes?
I have a very good system for laundry, and I don't know how the players figured it out on day one, other than the fact that they play, so they're used to this. So everybody has their own laundry bag, and everything goes in the bag. So one bag for one player, all your pieces are in the bag, and they get laundered in the bag. And they do a really good job of like making their socks not be in balls because I'm not reaching in there and touching those sweaty things. So you put it in the bag the way you want it to get washed, and then it gets washed. It gets hung to dry, and then I literally like hang it back up as a set from being hung to dry. So there is a system. I'm not going to say that we didn't have a player like put on the wrong number one time, just put the wrong kit on, not because his kit was not appropriately labeled for him, he just put the wrong one on. So, those kind of mishaps happen. But sometimes I'm like, how did this stain get here? Or whose blood is this? Those are a little unpleasant, but I mean, it's the parts of being an owner or, being affiliated with the team. Someone's got to do it. Might as well be me. I feel like because I know the cost of those pieces of clothing, I will take super extra good care of them. But it's my husband and I have like, even when they're hanging out on my clothesline, I'm like, you should take a picture and post this on social media. Like, cause look at my system. It actually looks really pretty. Everything's hung nicely in a row. He's like, I don't know that looks professional. I'm like, what's not professional about it? The players aren't doing their own laundry. Like, it's got to get washed. Stay clean. They don't stink for the next man out.
I think that would be a hoot next time you do.
But yes,
laundry.
there's a whole laundry system.
Okay, I think it'd be a hoot for people to see the clothesline, to see how things are with your system and everything. Home finale this week.
Yep, home finale on Saturday. We are going to be playing Hickory. They are a top 25 team. We are in a tough conference with 4 of our teams being in the top 25. It's a little intimidating as a first-year team coming in, though I say that, and Hickory's a first-year team coming in, and they are one of those top 25s. And they have great attendance numbers. We are thrilled with our attendance. Don't get me wrong. Our supporters are absolutely the greatest. But I'm hoping that they're going to have a bunch that come travel and we're doing $5 tickets. So we're doing like a family night event. Just really want to push and get a big crowd out here to show the players off for the last home match. And then we have an event on Sunday at Pins and Friends, which is one of our sponsors. It's duck pin bowling.
Yeah.
So it's, a little bigger than skee ball, smaller than regular bowling. So yeah, little ones. Come out and, bowl, do some pins with the team. We'll have, probably the last opportunity to buy merchandise in person from us for at least a couple weeks. Some of us need a few weeks off before getting back at all the events. But really hoping to draw a big crowd because it is the final home game and the team has played really hard all season, and it'd be great to send them off with at least great support, which we've had great support all season. Our fans are the best at traveling. We had almost 30 at the match last night in Knoxville, and that's a lot for a school night and a work night, especially when some of us didn't get home till after midnight leaving the game. So I'm so thrilled with how much support we've gotten. Our supporters are by far the greatest, and I'm sure Hickory will bring some supporters too, but we're loud, we cheer hard, we cheer big, and we're big supporters of this team. And so come out and see us on Saturday. Come out and see us on Sunday.
And then, as promised, time to catch up with Dale Parker, the head coach at App FC, and he was on a bus. That's how things have been for App FC over the last 7 days. He was on a bus heading back from Port City in our match of the week. Here's our conversation as he's trying to figure out what day it is, what his name might be, and where exactly on the road he is. So as you and I are talking, where are you?
It's a great question. I'm just looking at some road signs right now. Somewhere in North Carolina. I think we're close to Greensboro, I believe, on the way back from Wilmington. Yeah, so I don't even know anymore.
What has this been like as you get ready? I guess now, are you going back home before you come to Apotheos, or what are you doing?
Yeah, so we played last night, hit the road this morning, heading back to Boone. Guys will rest tonight, get a good night's sleep. We'll train tomorrow morning, and then we'll leave on Saturday morning to go down to Atlanta.
Oh, man. How much of a challenge has this been for you and the staff to navigate this road trip?
Yeah, it's tricky. I think we've mentioned it before. I think a lot of the guys are used to playing Wednesday, Saturday, sometimes on the road as well. But this one's a bit unique in the fact that it's 2 long road trips. It's not like we're jumping on a plane or it's not like we're just going an hour or 2 down the road for a couple of away games. It's a hefty trek for both of these games, but I don't think we can dwell too much on that now. We just got to get the job done, focus on the football. I think we're traveling pretty well. We're taking lots of rest stops and trying to feed the guys as well as we can as well on the road. So we're trying to do our best to make the best of it, but it's like you say, it's challenging.
Win at Hickory 1-0, win at Port City. When you look back at both of those matches, I know that you're doing it through groggy lenses, but when you look back at how you've responded in both of these matches, what sticks in your mind?
I think the battling spirit that we have within the group. I think we know that we've got a lot of quality in the team, regardless of what 11 we pick and how we set the team up. But the ability to see games out. Saturday was a very, very difficult game. Had a decision go against us in the second half, so we had to play with 10 men for a large chunk of that second half. But we've been in that position before this year where our backs have been up against the wall and we've found a way to see it through. And that definitely showed on Saturday. And then last night was another tricky one. We knew it was going to be a difficult game. A different surface, different environment, different climate. And we had a few nervy moments last night. But again, the group showed that when it gets tough, I think that's when they really show who they are. Some of the more comfortable games for us have been uncomfortable. So it was nice to see the boys rally again last night. Scored 2 late-ish goals and put the game away, and now we're giving ourselves a really good chance to to host in the playoffs. And obviously now it's a basically like a one-off game on Saturday. They almost like winner takes all on Saturday, which is an exciting game to be involved in.
So I know that the studying when it comes to looking at Apotheos, you're probably looking at past matches. I don't know, how much present tense is involved, but for a match like this against Apotheos, at Apotheos, considering what you're going through in travel this week, how do you juggle now focusing on that one when there's a time crunch and trying to study for it?
I think stay calm. I think it's the first thing. Just stay calm. I don't think we have to overthink too much. We're very, very confident in the group of players. So from a tactical point of view, there isn't going to be much that we can cover in training that they don't already know. We do percentage-wise. There's a high percentage of our focus that goes on us versus the opponent. So not that we're overlooking Apotheos or we don't think that there's things in there that we need to worry about. There's a lot of problems that they have that they're going to cause for us, but the attention is going to be mostly on us. There'll be one or two things where we'll try and either stop them from doing or try and highlight that might be successful for us, but we're not going to dwell too much on over analyzing the game itself. Let's just focus on rest, recovery, and make sure we get the selection right for Saturday.
What is going on with Gareth Southgate and the lack of offense and all of this that's heading into the Sweet 16? What is going on here?
I wish I could give you the answer to that one. I don't know. I think if you've followed England for as long as I have, you'll understand that even when on paper it should be easy, it never really is. So my guess is we're going to draw a line under the group stages now and just focus on a new tournament in the knockout stages. Regardless of who we play, it's going to be difficult. I'm just going to follow along for the ride with low expectations, I think, moving forward.
England and Slovakia is noon Eastern, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on Sunday. So have you made arrangements with Apotheos to make sure that Willie B's is going to be open for a noon kick on Sunday before you hit the road?
Well, we have a kind of a plan that we think might work once we get out of there on Sunday morning.
Okay.
There's a place in Greenville, South Carolina that we know really well.
Okay.
That has the games on the big screen outside. So if all goes well on Saturday night, or even if it doesn't, if we're feeling happy and we're feeling good about ourselves, we might make that stop and watch the game.
SDH caught up with head coach John Mercado, the head coach at Apotheos FC, because of that matchup that is going on with App and Apotheos. Jarrett Smith will have the call on the Apotheos social medias. Also, thanks to our friends at ASMG who do the production there. Great to always catch up with them and work with them as we do throughout the soccer season. But Jared will have the call of the Apotheos app match. Look up Apotheos on all their social media platforms, and you can find the path as to where to watch the match at Silverbacks Park on Saturday night. So that is the rundown of all the coaches and the front offices to get you ready for the weekend that will be. And so here is the schedule, and we always like to remind you, if you can be there in person, be there in person. We'll run through it all coming up in just a little bit. So here's the rundown. On the 29th, all the matches are at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Greenville United is at Port City on the campus of UNC Wilmington. 865 Alliance is at Ortho, Carolina. They make the trek from the Knoxville area, and they go to Charlotte to take on Hops. Apotheos and App, we talked about that one at Silverbacks Park. Bristol Rhythm, we talked to Diane about the regular season home finale for Bristol Rhythm. They get Hickory coming to Gene Malcolm on the 29th before the last week of the regular season next weekend, and we'll try and figure out all the math that's involved as to who plays what, where, and when, what the points per match average is, who could do what. We'll talk about all of that next week. As we always like to remind you, if you are near Gene Malcolm, Silverbacks Park, Ortho, Carolina, or UNC Wilmington, go visit it. Some of the great talent that is on display here in the NPSL Southeast. If you are in market, can't make it, follow along on local providers. If you are out of market, can't make it, still follow along on local providers. Go to NPSL, NPSL.com and also follow along on your favorite team's social media platforms, and also come back here every single week, and you can find out what's going on in the NPSL as the SDH tackles the NPSL Southeast. For everybody here at SDH, thanks to all the clubs, thanks to all the coaches, thanks to everybody who is making the show what it is every single week. I'm just John. Thanks for hanging out with us in the NPSL Southeast. Play it safe, everybody. Enjoy the game.